to another segment of the Princess K Talk Show, which talks about all aspects of life, relationships, how we handle life, and how we deal with it. And in order for us to handle life, we need to relate with people, how we can relate with people, and how, it affects our individual lives. So in this segment, I will be talking about expectations that you have in relationships and in marriages, because the number one leading causes of divorces these days is expectations not being met. Now, we all have expectations when we get married. We expect the relationship to be a certain type of way. We expect our spouse to act a certain type of way, to meet a certain type of need. We expect it, and it's all down to expectations because we all have it. It's either we expect the marriage to be perfect or not perfect, or we expect it to be a certain, a certain level. We expect the spouse to meet a certain need and want, and and based on that need not being met and those expectations not being able to come to light, then that's what causes problems in marriages and in relationships. But I'm going to go into more depth because we are talking about expectations in marriages. So I'm going to go into more depth on it. And the number one point is everyone you marry has a weakness, right? And it's only God that doesn't have any weaknesses because he's God, okay? And if you focus on your spouse's weaknesses, then you won't be able to get anything out of their strengths. Everybody has weaknesses. Let's get that into our minds. Every single person we meet, even if we're friends with someone, every single person we meet has weaknesses. Nobody is perfect. Absolutely not. Not even one person in life is perfect. So we all need to be able to focus on the strengths rather than the weaknesses. The weaknesses that we have as individuals makes us who we are, and it molds us and shapes us. So we should be able to appreciate the weaknesses, even though not all weaknesses are pretty, but we should try and focus on the strengths and build more on it. Now, the second point is everyone has a dark past, a dark history, right? And no one is an angel, right? So when you get married or you want to get married, stop digging into their pasts. Everybody has pasts, dark histories, things that they've done that they're not proud of. We're all human, we all have pasts that we should let go and not focus on it and not dig into it and bring it into the present. Now, what matters the most is your present life of your partner. All things have passed away and all things have become new. So we should just forgive, let go, and focus on the present and the future, which is more important than the past, because we can't go back to the past and redo it. I'm sure a lot of us would love to, but it's impossible. So the best thing to do is to just focus on your future and your present and work on it. The third point I want to bring out is every marriage has its own challenges, right? Just like every relationship has its own challenges. If you're, at the level of getting to a marriage. Now, it's not a bed of roses. Not everything will go your way, and true love proves itself in times of challenges. You have to be able to fight your marriage, and before you go into marriage, you need to make up your mind that you're going to fight for it. That you need to make up your mind and say divorce is not an option. Not unless it is absolutely necessary. We need to make up our minds to fight for it regardless of what we find. We need to make up our minds that, no matter what it is, no matter how I feel, no matter what my emotions is towards this person, I need to be ready to fight for my relationships and my marriage. And every good marriage has gone through fire, blazing fire. Those couples that you see that have been married for 40, 50 years, they've gone through hell and back. they've had their tough times. They've had their testing times where they feel like they won't last, where they felt like they're gonna break, but eventually they came through. So, and that's what it is, and it's always good to persevere, and that's where true love comes in. You will only know if your partner or your spouse truly loves you. The only time you will know is through tough times. Now, the fourth point I'm gonna point out, there's 5 points I want to point out, so this is the fourth point. Every marriage has different levels of success, right? And don't compare your marriage to other people's marriages. No one is equal. Some marriages are, far, they're better, they're good, and some marriages are behind. They're just starting, they're just learning, right? And to avoid marriage stress, be patient and work hard and take time. Be patient with your marriage and your relationship, because eventually your marriage dreams or your relationship dreams, where you feel that where you want your relationship to be, or the goal you see your relationship to be, it will get there. But you just need patience, hard work, and perseverance, and prayer. Prayer helps a whole lot as well. It helps. Okay? So the last point I'm gonna iron out is to get married itself is declaring war. This is to married couples now. To get married itself is to declare war. What I mean by that is, when you get married, you have to declare war against certain enemies of marriage that could break your marriage, right? And some of those enemies are ignorance, prayerlessness, when you don't pray at all. That's the dangerous part. If you want to be successful in marriage, you cannot do it without prayer. That is an absolute fact. You cannot do it without God, because it will break, right? You need to have God in the center of your marriage. And unforgiveness, you need to forgive, because you are going to hurt each other. You guys are gonna argue. There's gonna be friction. You need to forgive. Third party influences, people that influence your marriage, like friends, outsiders, you need to be careful, because the enemy can use them easily. The enemy can use anyone like that to ruin your marriage. And stinginess, you can't be selfish in marriage. If you want to get married, you cannot be selfish. Selfish people should never get married. That's just pure and simple, because marriage is partnership. You guys need to come to a compromise. If you're not ready to compromise, then you are not ready to share your life with somebody. Stubbornness, right? You can't be stubborn. Those are enemies. The ones that I'm pointing out are just mini enemies that can attack your marriage. Lack of love, right? You guys need to love each other with the love of God. You need to be careful about that, right? And rudeness. You guys are going to be rude to each other. We're humans. That's where forgiveness comes in and communication comes in. You talk to each other, you iron it out, you apologize, and you bury it. Laziness, right? Disrespecting each other. It happens a lot. Not even marriage, even other friendships, like just male to male friendship or female to female friendship. There's disrespect. We're humans, we're gonna do that. But the most important thing is we talk about it. Cheating is another thing, which is the topic I'm on. Cheating. You need to forgive. Just like I said before, men are visual creatures. They go by what they see, and women go by what they hear. You need to put your mind to it that no matter what your marriage ends up in, you need to fight in prayer, and you need to discuss it and have that mindset that I am determined to make sure that whatever it takes, I'm gonna fight for my marriage and my relationship. So with that being said, I'm gonna end it today. I know I've taken longer than 6 minutes than I usually take. I apologize for that. So There's gonna be more next week. I will be posting. There's 10 points, but I will discuss the other 5 points next week. So thank you very much for listening, and don't forget to subscribe and to like my page. Thank you ever so much for listening. Do have a wonderful day.